I want to start off with today's podcast on a different note, just a little bit, not too much. I do want to say thank you to all the supporters. Thank you to the people who like and listen and share. It means a lot to me and Tanner, or Tanner and I guess is the right English term. I know some English Nazis out there, but oh well, it's whatever. Sue me. Just kidding, don't sue me. But thanks for tuning into our podcast. We post weekly, Fridays, 6 p.m. This is episode 3?
Well, yeah, technically.
Episode 3. Episode 2.
We decided to start our first one at episode 0 because we're like, we'll see if it catches any, if anybody likes it. And the first one had some popularity. It's like, okay, I guess we'll do this.
Yeah, we had some people comment in there and just kind of like, hey, why is this not episode 2? It's episode 1. Well, week 0 is technically quote unquote pilot, something of that sort. But I mean, college football's a week away,
pretty much
from Saturday. Yeah, first game. If you're listening to this, next day it'd be Saturday, and then we got Florida and Miami.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be a crazy one. Yeah. We're gonna do Big Ten talk. Big Ten predictions, Big Ten talk, Big Ten defense.
I think the Heisman's coming from the Big Ten.
Yeah, Heisman might be coming out of the Big Ten. I mean, it could come out of the Big 12 again. I mean, who knows? I mean, if you listen to our previous podcast, I went on rant how Tua's just going to rip apart the Big 12. That's in week 0. But hey, what do I know? Right?
And by Tua, you mean Jalen Hurts.
It's the beer.
We started this one off a little differently. We've already started drinking before the podcast. It's been a long day. Had to blow off some steam before we got started. That may or may not have been a mistake.
Tua might win the Heisman anyways. It'd be Tua, Jalen, or
Purdy.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. But to kind of go off of here, the Big Ten's kind of wide open. I mean, there's literally talent everywhere. But I mean, the main thing is
there's 5 to 6 teams that easily can.
Yeah, between Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State. I mean, Michigan State even has a chance. Nebraska, Iowa. I mean,
this week going into doing my research for the podcast, I was looking at the CBS 130 and just different things, and I was like, what is all the fuss about Nebraska? They went 0-6 in their first 6 games, and they went 4-2 going out. What is the fuss? And then I did my research, and there I have them actually picked pretty high. So hopefully they don't prove me wrong.
Well, I mean, I have them picked pretty high too. I think that Scott Frost definitely is doing a lot of good work out there. I think he has something he has something going on that we don't know about, and it's going to turn the program around. I mean, I guess we'll start with the West. I mean, I'll throw my predictions out there real quick. I have Nebraska at 10-2, Iowa 9-3, Wisconsin 8-4, Northwestern 7-5, Minnesota 7-5, Purdue I have them at 5-7, Illinois at 5-7. That's kind of where I'm at.
Okay, so I have Northwestern 8-4, but they very easily can still win the West.
Oh yeah.
It's that wide open. There's just nothing there to go to base 100% on.
I think it's going to be an SEC thing. This is kind of like how everybody beats each other up, and whoever comes out of that's just going to be really good.
Wisconsin 10-2. That's my favorite. I think they have the best running back in college football. I think Jonathan Taylor's just a really good running back. Now that's who I have picked to win the West. I don't think they're going to win the conference game. I don't think they will surpass Michigan. But then I have Purdue at 7-5. I have Iowa 5-7. Nebraska 10-2. Like I said, they can very easily win the West.
Hey, rare occasion we agree on something. Kind of.
Minnesota 6-6. Illinois 4-8.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, the over/under on Illinois was 3.
Yeah, I think here's the thing about Illinois. Though. I mean, they got. It's not a good team, but they're a team that shows up. If you don't show up, you're going to lose. unless if you're Michigan or Ohio State or Penn State or Nebraska, Wisconsin, some of those higher teams. But these lower teams, they kind of midway through the season just kind of start going through the motions, and then you kind of start running into a really bad position at that point. I mean, I had them at 5-7. So East Division, Michigan 11-1. Penn State 10-2, Ohio State 10-2, Michigan State 8-4, Maryland 6-6, Indiana 5-7, and then the Rutgers 3-9. I mean, I think that one's pretty straightforward. I think I really like mine. I could stick a Penn State in there in the number one spot. I think it's going to come down to who is more well developed and who has the better, I guess in a sense, just whoever has the better running game at that point in the season. I mean, I really think, Big Ten is just defense. It's a really big defensive power conference, Power 5 conference. I really think that we run into a more like they're more defensive what they are offensive. They could still produce some really good offensive players, but the other thing is that, I mean, their defense is what they're known for. So, I mean, Michigan, Penn State's kind of a toss-up. Either of them could win that.
Big Ten had a lot of players drafted.
Yeah, they did.
And a lot of graduates.
A lot of players
drafted. A lot of the team's top performers either graduated, transferred out of the conference, or were drafted to the NFL.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying it's wide open. But the other thing is that it's all about reloading. I mean, that's just college football. You go in, you reload, you come out and play. And hopefully you have the better team that's developed. So,
well, since we're talking about being developed and not even a reload, this was just a rebuild. Nebraska. We'll start with Nebraska. I mean, Adrian Martinez, he's a sophomore. Very well could be a Heisman candidate this year. He threw for 2,600 yards last year. Nebraska's running back was drafted by the Saints. That was one of the ones I was talking about.
Yeah.
But, I mean, their recruiting class for this year, 27 commits, 5 on the ESPN Top 300, 11 4-stars, and 15 3-stars.
Yeah,
and only in Scott Frost's second year.
Yeah,
I mean, as a new coach, that is impressive.
Yeah, it's all about reloading. I mean, that's what the SEC teams do. That's what Oklahoma does. That's what Texas does. They go in. Clemson does it. They go in. They reload. Get a really good. I mean, if you're in the top 25 in recruiting in college football, you're guaranteed to have some sort of success in some way. I mean, it comes down to coaches, but then you also look at it and go, well, I mean, you look at it and you go, top 5, look at Alabama. Alabama's been top 5. Georgia's been a top 5. Clemson's been up there too a couple seasons, and look where they end up. With really good coaches and really good recruits, that's where you end up. Big Ten-wise, you get Ohio State up there. They pull in some recruits out of California, and they pull in out of the West Coast, and that's major.
I think they're going to have a tough year with the new coach.
Oh no, they're going to have an atrocious year. They're going to win games.
They're going to win. I have them at 10-2, but they're not winning.
It's not
going
to be Ohio State football that we're used to seeing. It's going to be a struggle bus for the majority of the season, and that's why I don't have them winning. That's why I have them stuck at 10-2. I mean, they're going to be a solid team. I don't think
I have them losing to Michigan and Wisconsin. I think that was my prediction.
Yeah, Wisconsin's a toss-up. They'll lose to Michigan.
Nebraska nearly beat them last year.
Yeah.
It was
that's what I was saying.
One-score position.
Yeah, it was a one-score game, yeah. I mean, I guess it just, like I said, it's just going to come down to who's ready at that time. That's how wide open the Big Ten is. And sorry, I mean, Big Ten right now is just kind of like, there's not a whole lot to talk about because there's not a whole lot going on, but at the same time, it's really it's going to be a struggle for a lot of these teams because, like what Tanner was saying, losing a lot of people and everything, but
Like, still on Nebraska for a second, Stanley Morgan Jr. was drafted by the Bengals. He had a 1,000-yard reception last year. To me, that's a big. I mean, there's some receivers that have 1,400, 1,600 yards in a season, but a 1,000-yard season, that's.
I mean that's a game changer. You know, you could get a kid that constantly catches first downs, or get a kid who catches the big ball.
I mean, and they still have. He's a junior, Spellman. You know, he had 800 plus yards last year. So I mean, they still have it. They have a good tight end. They've got good recruits coming in, but they still have some shoes to fill.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, most of these teams have had really good recruiting, you know, the past several years. So I mean, reloading is like I've said before, reloading is just all about college football, and the Big Ten and the SEC are known to do that. You know, towards the top end of the conference. We'll see what happens. I couldn't tell you what's going to happen. I mean, Ohio State could come out and win it all, you know, or win out the conference. They're not going to win it all in general. I don't think
think they make the playoffs.
I don't think a Big Ten team makes a playoff this year, because I think, like I said, I think they're just going to beat each other up. It's all wide open. I think we might see a Pac-12 team in there, maybe like a Washington or something. But I don't know. That's all toss-up talk. So.
Let's stay in the West a little bit longer. We may jump around this week a little bit compared to last week, where we just kind of went down the line each side of the conference. But Wisconsin, I mean, they had their starting quarterback from last season transfer to Florida State this year.
Yeah, that was a big loss. I think that's a hard position to go in and try to get somebody in there to really fill and perform right away, especially over a summer time or short amount of time that was. And
they did luck out, though. They recruited the #1 pocket passer in last year's recruiting class in Graham Mertz. Yeah. He was 21st on ESPN 300.
Yeah, he was 21st. Yeah, I was fixing to say he's 21st on the ESPN 300. Yeah, that's a big pickup. And I mean, Big Ten is quarterbacks. Big 12 gets you really good quarterbacks. Those two conferences right there have really good development for the quarterback. You're starting to see it kind of turn around in the SEC, a little bit in the Pac-12. The ACC is kind of hit or miss there too. But, I mean, you get a pretty good quarterback into the Big 10 or the Big 12, and then they turn into a really decently good and well-rounded quarterback.
I mean, the Big Ten has some of the best receivers in college football.
Yeah, that too.
And I read an article, and I wanted to kind of rub it in your face because I know how much of an SEC fan you are. But it was the headline of the article, and we're not going to get all into it. But it just said, "Best receivers in college football, not the SEC. Check out the Big Ten," and it goes down the list.
Yeah, it goes down the list. I had to kind of hang on. No, I gotta squeeze the lemons here a little bit. How do you go in, and how do you not count Alabama in there? How do you not count A&M?
I mean, they talked about Purdy. Purdy was the first name that came out for Alabama. But, I mean, Purdue, I believe it's Purdue, has an All-American who was one of the top receivers in the country last year.
Yeah, A&M has a couple All-Americans, too, that are in this year. I mean, LSU's coming along the way. So is Florida. Florida has some really good wide receivers, too. I think it's a little biased. I don't know. I think people just kind of tug at the SEC. But, hey, I mean, I can't say much. I'm a little SEC biased, but I don't care about your opinion.
So, like I already said, Jonathan Taylor is a junior for Wisconsin. He's going to be in the NFL next year. I think he could be Zeke's replacement at the Cowboys. That's what I'm hoping for.
Oh, that would be a good replacement.
But we're not going to get into the NFL talk.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that later.
We've been talking about that for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, sorry about that. There's
not a lot going on in the NFL.
It's August, and we have late baseball, not even October baseball, really. Not even October content for baseball.
It's the dog days of August for baseball, and there's nothing to talk about.
It's just dog days in general. I mean, our most exciting thing is a frostbite from Antonio Brown and that whole situation and the Zeke situation. That's kind of
Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon.
It's
the
just,
Dak. Oh, that's a whole
whatever you see popping up on ESPN right now. That's what we have to talk about when it comes to the pros. But we are ready for football.
Oh,
I'm
ready for football.
chomping at the bit for some college football.
I'm ready to prove some people wrong. I have some people tell me I'm absurd, that I'm crazy for saying some of these things. And I'm like, well, I see it. You don't. I guess you need to put some eye drops in there.
I mean, it's all our public opinion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and like we've said in the previous, we want y'all to come on. Like, if you disagree with what we say or what our predictions are, let us know. Give us a comment.
Yeah, comment down
Predict
below.
the conference. You know, we may even do a deal where we get somebody on one of these podcasts.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah, that would be a great segment. Prove Elliott wrong. Something
Prove
I
me
do
wrong.
all the time.
No, you don't. I'm the all-knowing and all-seeing.
Yeah.
I think your head got a little too screwed on, just a little too tight today. I'm having a good day. Are you having a good day?
It's been there. We're not going to go there. But, I mean, they have 3 good receivers coming back as well in Wisconsin. They have a chance to do very well. And I'm hoping Wisconsin wins the Big Ten.
I mean, hey, they're not going to win the Big Ten. I mean, it's kind of open. So they have USF, and then they have Central Michigan at home. Now, here's the kicker. They have Michigan at
Southern
home.
Florida, not USF.
Oh. Yeah, USF, University of Southern Florida.
Oh.
Like I said, you
stand
had your
correct.
head too.
I stand
you have
corrected.
your head screwed on too tight today. Here, take a drink of your beer, calm down, sit down, relax, sit on your nice sofa, and do your thing. It's Wisconsin. They go to USF, and then they have Central Michigan at home. Now, here's the thing: they get 2 really good, easy games that they could just get,
I mean, they have to be prepared.
And, tighten the nuts and bolts,
Because
get the rust
week
out of
3
the system, and then week 3 they play Michigan at home. But here's the thing about Michigan at home. Michigan goes in, and here's the thing. My freaking notes are all sorts of jumbled right now.
Way to go, Elliott. Way to go.
And don't you have the Michigan schedule? See,
I
we're
do.
professionals around here. They have Middle Tennessee, then they have a very run-heavy Army team. And the thing about playing Army at home is they go in, they have Army at home. Army will come in, punch you in the mouth. And the thing about it is that I feel like that's going to affect the Wisconsin game. Because now Michigan goes into Wisconsin and
Running
it's
the best running back in college football. Jamming it down their throat.
yeah.
I still
Play
have
after
Michigan
play
picked
after
to
play.
win.
See, I have Wisconsin picked to win that game. And then Northwestern comes to Wisconsin, and I feel like they could drop that one. Then Wisconsin plays Kent State at home. I mean, they have a home stretch here of like 4 or 5 games.
They have, after Southern Florida, they have Central Michigan at home, Michigan at home, Northwestern at home, Kent State at home, Michigan State at home. 5 home games back to back.
And then they play Illinois, and I feel like, after that, I feel like they'll beat Michigan State there. They might lose to Illinois. They'll definitely lose to Ohio State. They might beat Iowa. The Nebraska game, they'll lose that one. They'll beat Purdue, and they'll beat Minnesota.
I have them losing to Michigan and Ohio State. I think they're going to squeeze past Nebraska.
You think so?
And I think they're going to squeeze past Northwestern.
No. Nebraska's just set up, man. Nebraska's set up for gold right now. So, I mean, the team that they played before that is a Purdue team that's going to be, okay, mediocre. Then they play Indiana team that's, okay, they're good if you don't show up. And then that's a home game. They go away, then they come back home.
But, I mean, they can also very easily go 7 wins. They could very easily beat USF, Central Michigan, Michigan, Northwestern, Kent State, Michigan State, Illinois, and then come into Ohio State rolling.
Momentum is college football.
That is exactly what I'm saying.
Correct. I will admit when I'm wrong, and I guess I'm a little wrong.
I know who we won't be talking about today.
Purdue.
Well,
Minnesota.
The punching bag of the Big Ten.
Oh, the Rutgers? Yeah. Sorry, Rutgers fan. I don't know if you ever listen to this thing.
I don't know
if we have one on here, but
I don't know if Rutgers fans are kind of like Tech fans. You just grit your teeth and go on.
I don't know. Tech fans have it. I mean, y'all have y'all's tortillas, so it's okay.
I'm just saying. I know we're in Big Ten talk, but Texas Tech has
You see this
good
look?
receivers.
You see this look I'm giving you, right?
I see it. We're going to discuss this again because we didn't get into it.
All right.
I'm just saying.
All right.
Alan Bowman has 2 good receivers.
He has 2 good receivers, but it's the fact of can he stay healthy?
He's gonna stay healthy.
Can the team stay healthy? Because I believe Tech might have a chance. Who knows what this coach has in store? Pulls out of his magic hat. Maybe pulls out the big white rabbit and you get 8 wins this year. That would be fantastic.
I would be
Tech.
happy with 8 wins.
I have y'all winning 7, and that's generous from coming from me.
I'm just saying, we have 2 grad transfers that are good defensive players.
You also had some that transferred out, though, too.
Yeah, but we are also returning a lot of starters.
Yeah, well, at the line is where
But
you kind of suffer. That's the thing is that at the line you're suffering right now. So
what I was getting at, and then we'll get it. Receivers. We're on to the receivers discussion. We just got a transfer from Nevada, Mike Maddox. He's a pretty good receiver.
He's okay.
800 plus yards last year. That's a good receiver.
Nevada.
Still a good receiver.
Mm.
And then we also still have TJ Vasher, who is the big ball money man.
See, whenever you get a receiver from a conference, it's not a Power 5 conference. You know, it's just kind of, who are you? Don't give me that look.
Watching Hard Knocks lately, it seems like there's more non-Power 5 conference players playing.
Poor Oakland. That's all I gotta say, man. They got
John Gruden knows how to make some good TV.
Oh, John Gruden's great at it, but then Derek Carr's definitely not fit for it. He is so because here's the thing: Derek Carr's a nice guy. If you've seen videos of him
before he broke his
Twitter
leg that
and
year,
all
I was rooting for them to win the Super Bowl. I wanted them to go, and then he broke his leg.
I don't like any California teams, so it's...
Hey, they had a chance to go to San Antonio. I would have had if they would have went to San Antonio. If they'd have been the San Antonio football team, I would have dropped the Dallas Cowboys.
See, I think it's perfect. I think it's perfect. I think it's perfect. silver and black Spurs. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. That
I've been a lifetime Dallas Cowboys fan, but if they'd have moved it to San Antonio instead of Vegas, oh yeah.
I would have jumped ship real quick.
What's the point? We're used to the Cowboys losing.
Yeah.
What does it make any difference if it's in the AFC instead of the NFC?
I don't know. Cheer for both teams, I guess. And when they both make the Super Bowl, and then you just drink a lot of beer and have a lot of fun, I guess. Something.
As long as it's not Houston, we're good.
Yeah, as long as it's not Houston, we're good. Sorry, Houston fans. Don't like the Astros. Don't like the Texans.
I don't know.
Don't even like the
05 Astros.
I don't like the Astros.
Craig Bagwell,
period.
Jeff Biggio.
No. You can name a team. I just don't like the Astros. Period. That's just how it's going to go. Sorry, not sorry, Astros fans. If I had a camera, I'd be staring into the camera right now, kind of laughing, sipping at the beer that I have while saying sorry, not sorry. It really not mean anything at all. But yeah, I don't like the Astros. I don't like Houston at all. I don't even like the Rockets. I
have a deep hatred for the Rockets. But
Houston winning kind of hurt my soul just a little bit, even though it's a Texas team. I guess it's okay.
I am waiting for Houston to implode in basketball this year.
Oh, they're going to implode. That's going to be...
Harden and Westbrook. Did you see the video somebody made on 2K Sports of Westbrook stealing the ball from Harden and like a playoff situation in the game?
Yes, and he held it, yeah.
And then shot the make because he had to have the last shot.
Yeah, he had to have the last shot.
You know that's exactly how it's going to be.
That's just how it's going to be. Whether if it straightens out or not, I don't know. We're getting away from Big Ten, I know, but hey, it's okay. Well, we're sports. We're going to talk.
Hey, sometimes you got to go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So
pull out the white wabbit.
Silly wabbit.
Silly wabbit.
So do you want to talk about Northwestern?
Sure. Why not? We'll go down that road. Northwestern's going to be...
I had them at 8-4. They are the over under is 6.5.
Yeah, I had them at 7 and
And I-
5, and that's like I said, that's kind of generous. I mean,
Their quarterback was drafted to the Eagles. Their reception leader graduated. Both of their reception leaders one's graduated, one's no longer with the team.
I mean, that's what I said. I was like, it's a hit or miss. They're kind of in a weird situation because Northwestern's one of those teams where they can come in and, show up, punch you in the mouth and beat you, but they're also the team that's like going to lose a game that they should not have lost. Kind of like Tech.
Who's going to be the quarterback? Who's going to catch the ball? They have an all right running back, but
Yeah. I mean, well, that's most of the Big Ten right now is who's doing what. For most of the Big Ten's kind of like that right now. But I mean, who knows? I mean, their schedule they play Stanford away, then they have UNLV, then they have Michigan State at home, and then they go play Wisconsin, then they go play Nebraska, then they play Ohio State at home, and I feel like those 3 games are just going to be brutal back to back like that. And then, actually, I think they get a bye week. No, they don't. They don't get bye week there.
I have them beating Stanford. I have them beating UNLV. Losing to Michigan. I have them on a 4-game lose streak.
What, Michigan
State, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Ohio State.
See, now here's the thing. They could beat Ohio State. I mean, they're on the bye week after the Nebraska game, and then they play Ohio State at home. So that could be, like I said, they're one of those teams where they lose to people that they shouldn't to, and then they go in and then they beat people that they should have beat. So, I mean, the schedule-wise, their schedule's set up for disaster mid-season, and I mean that's going to come down to who's doing what and what's doing what at that time. I mean, who knows? Ohio State could lay an entire freaking goose egg, to start off for the season, and then it's just a bad start. And if you start bad in college football, that's kind of how you go for the rest of the season. Momentum.
So in Purdue, it seems like there's a lot of questions in quarterbacks too in the Big Ten.
Well, yeah.
Who's going to be, especially in the West? Purdue, their starter last year was drafted by the Browns. David Blow. Hope that's how you pronounce it.
I think that's how you pronounce it. That's what I've heard. That's what I heard. So
they have a quarterback who was the starter in 2017 and had a really good season in 2017. Who was not the starter last year. He's a senior this year, so that's my best guess who will be the starter quarterback there.
I mean, there's like you said, that's just a Big Ten thing. There's so many spots to fill. There's so much stuff going on.
I mean, their running backs, both of their running backs start great running backs from last year. Neither one of them are with the team this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who's going to start running back? They're going to have to go into the recruits for that. Or into the freshman class.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, like I said, who knows? So, I mean, Northwestern, like I said, I have them kind of middle of the pack in the West at 7 and 5. They're kind of doing okay, I think. I mean, who knows? They could probably beat Wisconsin and kind of pass them or tie them for, or at that point, they would take third place for the West in my book, For my book.
I have Purdue at 7 and 5. I mean, but they got nailed with draft picks. From last year, they quarterback drafted, 2 of their top receivers drafted, but they have the All-American Rondale Moore, who may be one of the best receivers in the country.
Yeah, he'll have a heck of a year.
5 receivers.
But like I said, it depends on quarterback Phil. It does. It depends on the quarterback Phil.
They also pulled 2 top 300 ESPN 300 recruits and receivers.
Yeah, that's
so they
true.
may just be reloaded already.
Well, like I said, you get some of these kids and it's all developmental, and
the
it's offensive experience. Are you playing the same offense that you did in high school? Are you still doing the same?
Did you do spring workouts? Were you an early graduate and get to get a
full
off season?
Well, most of the ESPN top 500 kids end up going to spring. So, Most of them. Some of them don't. Some of them come in. But, I mean, even at that point, you could redshirt him and play him 3 games. Which is a big thing now.
Yeah, wasn't there... I don't know what team he played for last year, but wasn't there a receiver who played his 3 games, thought the team was crap, and redshirted himself so he could transfer?
Oh, who was that?
I'm not sure who it was, but I heard it on the radio, and I think that's absolute crap.
Yeah, I think that's crap.
That burst my bubble on the, you win with a team, you lose with the team. That's your team.
Well,
I understand. I don't want to burn my last year of eligibility.
With college football, you kind of players have more freedom now to do what they want, and I think they should do what they want. Now, is it respected? Yeah, but
I don't respect that at all.
I don't respect it, but they should have the ability to choose what team they want to play for.
Though it's not like you're 4 years and out. Though he chose that team to play for. He committed to that team. That's
how many players get moved around thinking that this is going to be a good...
I know sometimes you just don't fit with the team, but that's just as bad as being like, well, I'm transferring out, so I'm not going to play in this bowl game. I don't want to get hurt in this bowl game. I'm not going to finish what I started.
I honestly think that's a player decision, and whether I respect that or not, I'm kind of mutual on that.
It's a player decision, but I don't respect it at all.
I'm mutual on something like that, and that's just because they're looking out for their future. I mean, that's my opinion.
I come from if you start something, you finish something.
I'm going to finish it. It's their life, though. They're going to be making,
not all
$12, $10 million.
Not every college player makes it to the next level.
The
ones that do aren't worried about their senior year. They're gone after their sophomore year.
If you're sitting out your senior year, junior year, if you're sitting out a bowl game, that means you have some sort of draft stock. That's a little different. If you're nobody and sitting out, then what are you doing?
Okay, so we'll just use... who's going to be someone who's in the NFL next year. Say we get the rematch. Clemson and Alabama in the deal. Tua is going to be a first-round draft pick. Do you skip the national championship game because you're worried about your draft stock?
He won't. Nick Saban won't let him.
But that's my point. Finish what you start.
Well, that's coach's decision. Nick Saban's not going to let him.
If he says he's not playing, he's not playing. If he's like, well, I'm not going to play in this championship game because I got bigger things to worry about.
Do you listen to Papa Saban? That's all I'm saying. Nick Saban's a scary dude to them kids.
But the other thing is just that for the players that are seniors, it's not like there's not, used to you were 4 and out. There was the occasional 5th-year senior or the redshirt senior who was redshirted a year and got his 5th year. But there's the whole grad transfer now. You can go back for a 5th year and play with the team of your choosing because it's open transfer. And it's not like you have the restrictions.
You're looking for a graduate. You're looking for a school to do your graduate program with, and some schools have really better graduate programs than others.
But with that, they're not. The whole point of the graduate transfer is because they're doing for a graduate degree. But you know what? Graduate degree, they're really looking for, hey, I got 1 more year of eligibility in football. Let's see if I can make this happen.
I guess.
It was the same way with basketball. Look at Matt Mooney. Played 4 years, graduated, goes to Tech, plays the national championship game. Now he didn't get drafted, but he is working out with the NBA team. Played in there.
That's what happens with most of those NBA players. They don't. You gotta remember the NBA is a lot smaller roster. There's more teams, but
that's just my example.
Yeah, I get you. I kind of get what you're saying, I guess, in a sense. So,
you want to go to the East?
Sure. What do we got?
You sound so enthused.
I am.
What happened to that happy, chipper Elliott that started the podcast?
He ran out of beer. For now. I've only had 1. I might need 2. Maybe 3 by the end of this podcast. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know.
I'm ready to get to the week 1 when we have the games in front of us and we can, or well, maybe not so much week 1. I'm ready for football to get started, but I'm ready for week 3, week 4, when it's nut cutting time. It's time for some big games that actually matter. Not
Shoot, you got Clemson A&M week 2, baby. What's going to happen then?
Clemson all the way.
Oh, you're funny. You're hilarious.
For anyone who wants to know more about the SEC talk, go check out last week's podcast.
Yeah, go check out last week's
We
podcast.
went over why I think A&M is going to tank this year.
He's wrong. He's wrong.
If
He
they're-
reads off of his little piece of paper and he thinks he knows everything. And
Hey, it's personal opinion, but I'm just saying they
And nobody
One
cares.
good year, tank for 3 to 4. One good year, tank for 3 to 4.
yeah, but that's over switching coaches, having bad coaches.
That's over
having
20 years.
mediocre- Yeah, we've had not a good coach in 20 years. We've had a time where we had a good recruit, you know. But
I'm
it's
just saying,
different.
all
It's different
of
now.
these Big 12 teams that left the Big 12 to go to other conferences, they ain't doing that hot in these other conferences.
Yeah, because they're in a real conference.
Oh, yeah. Most of them didn't do that hot in the Big 12 either, so.
We didn't really have much of a sports thing going on first. Now we do, but well, we'll see. We'll see when we're New Year's Six bowl or maybe playoffs. You know, then this year and next year, and then
I smell a bet coming up soon.
Eat
I don't
my
know
shorts.
I don't know what it's going to be this time. We kind of do a bet every week. First week was
the Green
Bay winning their division, which we're going to get into that later.
A&M. I think it was 9 games. Is that what you said?
Somewhere
Something
in there.
like that.
I would have to go back and look. But yeah, if I lose the Green Bay bet, I have to
Wear Cheesehead in a Green Bay was it a Aaron Rodgers uniform or a jersey?
a cheesehead.
No, I think we said a jersey too.
No, it was just a cheesehead.
No, I think we got the jersey in there.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
just a
Look
cheesehead.
it up. Backtrack it. While you're backtracking, I'll talk about the East. So, like I said earlier, Michigan 11-1, Penn State 10-2, Ohio State 10-2, Michigan State 8-4, Maryland 6-6, and the other two I don't care about. They don't matter, honestly. Not winning 6 games, I'm not going to talk about you. Well, I don't know. Maryland's kind of in that list too. Yeah, I want to talk about you. So, what'd you find?
All right. So Green Bay wins division. I wear a cheesehead. Aggies win more than 7 games. That shows you how much faith I have in the Aggies. I wear Aggies gear for a podcast. Hopefully, by the time football, we're still short of a camera at the moment. So we're hoping by football season we will have a camera.
We're hoping that we'll have an actual nice setup and everything. We kind of just like I said before, we kind of just thrown this together, and it was just kind of like a, hey, let's do this and do what we normally do and have fun with it.
I'm pretty sure we were
and everything,
arguing. The Fox radio was kind of saying the same thing that I was saying about the Aggies.
You know
One
what?
good
You
year,
know,
a
Colin
few crappy
Cowherd
years.
and that little gang that he has over there can do whatever they think with their opinions and take it and shove it up a dark place, you know? It's Colin Cowherd. Nobody cares about the herd. The herd with Colin Cowherd. Nobody cares about that. The dude changes opinions every 10 freaking seconds, so.
So we get an argument about Texas A&M Tech football. It's a pretty normal occurrence when football season comes
Yeah,
around.
if you really know us.
And one of our other buddies is like, why don't y'all just start a podcast doing this? Well, I mean, if people want to listen to us argue, everyone tells it's quite entertaining to see in person. We usually we've been fairly mellow in these first 3
Yeah,
episodes.
we've been kind of mellow. We don't want to. We don't want y'all to run away.
No one has screamed.
No one has screamed yet.
No names have been called.
No chairs have been thrown
No
yet.
chairs have been thrown.
Yet.
No fist have
Yet.
flown. But we're not even to football season yet.
We'll get the boxing gloves on. I'll show you
How did that work out for you last time?
Oh, yeah. We'll talk. You got a really lucky shot. I won that one. I bopped you right in the face.
All right, let's get back to what we're actually here to talk about.
What, Big Ten?
Yep, we're back to Big Ten.
Yeah. Big Ten. Ew. So the East,
I don't know. I think it's going to be exciting. I think they're going to be fun games to watch.
Oh yeah, it will be. I mean, they're
I will be
always
more
fun
excited to watch some Big Ten games this year than I will be the SEC. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I think both are going to have some really good games. I mean,
I hope we get to go to the Texas A&M Alabama game just so we can watch Alabama beat the snot out of them. But if not, I'm going to sit on my couch, drink beer, and watch whatever Big 10 game, Big 12 game is on that day.
I don't know what's going to be on that day. I'd have
That
to
is the
look.
same day as the Red River Shootout.
Oh, that is a good game.
I wanted to go to that game until I saw the ticket prices.
No, the ticket prices are stupid.
Anything at Jerry World is stupidly priced.
It's not at Jerry World,
Yeah, it is.
is it?
Red River Shootout is always at Jerry's World. It hasn't been in the Cotton Bowl in a long time.
It was Cotton Bowl last year.
Is it at the Cotton Bowl?
It's at the Cotton Bowl.
Oh.
It's always at the Cotton Bowl, Tanner.
Okay, I was thinking of the actual Cotton Bowl.
Paper without his papers.
We gotta fight. It's gonna happen.
Here in a second. No, the East is wide open. I think it's a very entertaining. It's going to be a very entertaining season. I think it's going to be an entertaining college football season. I think it's kind of the same as the NFL. It's just I think that there's going to be so much saturation of good players and good teams that it's just gonna. We're just going to have a really good year, even though it doesn't feel like it right now. I mean, I don't know about you. I feel mixed about NFL and college. Like, I'm excited, but it's just kind of like it's here, and then it's not here, and then I think about...
We're so close, but it feels so far away.
It feels so far away. It's a week away.
We have one game next week, and it's
That's
just like
going to be a good game.
Just a little tease.
Yeah, but it's a rivalry
Miami
game.
versus Florida.
Yeah, that game's going to be good because they're already talking trash to each other. I mean, you got people on Twitter going crazy, going... And now you got, between the two...
You got ESPN Game Day Live going to be there for first one of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Live from Disney World.
That's going to be great. Mickey Mouse. It's going to make an appearance, and God knows what's going to happen up on that stage that morning. I'm getting up to watch it. I think you work, I work, but, I mean, I'm going to watch it no matter where I'm at. Nobody going to bother me that day.
So, I don't think the Big Ten East is as wide open as the West. I think the West, there's 4 teams.
The West is
4 teams.
The West is wide open, but the East is just that close. Like I said,
I
Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan State all have a chance to be in that top 4 kind of mixed around. I mean, Michigan State could end up, number 2. Penn State could end up number 1. Michigan could be number 4. I mean,
the Big Ten East has 4 teams in the top 25 for the preseason. You got Ohio State at 5, Michigan at 7, Penn State at 19, Michigan State at 22. And that continues on over in the West. You got Wisconsin at 18, and then just outside of it is Iowa at 26. I don't see where that comes from.
no respect for the Cornhuskers.
The Cornhuskers are going to be pretty good this year.
I think they had some votes in the coaches poll. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look sometime. I actually didn't look at the coaches poll this year too much. I didn't really look at much of any of the polls. I don't towards the beginning of the season just because I don't think it really means much. Not until like week 3, week 4. Then you start kind of getting the shape of it. Kinda. And then the committee comes in and you think you have it right and then they totally crap all over everything.
So we have Ohio State without a quarterback. Dwayne Haskins plays for the Redskins now.
The Redskins, yeah.
So who's going to be at the quarterback there?
Not Dwayne Haskins. Definitely not Dwayne
Well,
Haskins.
no, of course not.
I mean, Washington's in such a... That whole entire division in the freaking NFL's in a massive mess right now besides the Eagles, and then the Cowboys have it somewhat figured out. And poor Eli Manning, man. They're expecting him to perform some godlike act for this season for the Giants. And if you're a Giants fan, sorry. If you win 2 games this season,
I'm just saying.
clapping,
I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm
congratulations.
happy anytime
I
the
mean,
Giants do horrible.
I'm happy when the Giants do horrible, but man, when a team just gets steamrolled every week and you have a running back like Saquon Barkley and your president doesn't want your first round draft pick to play, oof, big oof. I get that.
Well,
that
I can
gives me
remember.
a
I can
headache.
remember you screaming when they drafted Daniel Jones in the first round.
Oh, I was laughing.
He played for Duke. Is that who he?
No, he played for Wyoming.
No.
Or he played for some weird team like that. It's just, it was hilarious because it was like your first round, your what, draft pick number 2?
6.
Number 6? And you, who?
No,
Like-
he played for Duke.
He played for Duke. Okay, yeah. I was 6 to say. It was one of them off teams, which he didn't do technically bad, but he didn't do something just that was just outstanding, you know.
I mean, it's got to suck that you come in and your owner is just like, we don't want him playing this year.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not like Patrick Mahomes. We're like, oh, we're gonna give him a year of development, and then we're gonna get that way he gets the feel for the offense, and then we're gonna get rid of Alex Smith, who I read an article today. I was just kind of checking up on who was going to be the starting quarterback for the Redskins. And they're just as much of a debacle as the Giants for a quarterback.
Oh yeah.
But at one point, Alex Smith's leg got so infected, amputation was a questionable. Like
highly questionable.
like how bad would it be to get hurt playing football and have to actually lose your leg from an injury sustained by a tackle?
Yeah, that
And I went and I looked at his
I'm suing
contract.
someone.
Well, I mean, luckily for Alex Smith, his contract it's like 95% guaranteed.
Yeah.
He gets almost the full amount of money.
Yeah. The league's made for quarterbacks, man. Should be a quarterback. Just drop some weight. It'll be okay.
I think I don't meet the height requirement for that.
Have you seen calamari?
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Kyler Murray.
Oh, Kyler Murray.
Calamari is what they called him. This is what Alabama called him. We ain't no afraid, no calamari. Speaking of which, that game's going on right now. And I was watching it at work, dude. Oh, it was... Cliff, if I'm an Arizona fan right now, I'm shaking my head. I'm in disappointment, man. It's just bad. And when I mean bad, it is bad. I mean, it's better now. In 26-33, at one point it was like 20 to like 0, 21 to 0 or something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, 3 and out. I don't know what they did different. I don't know what Cliff did different, but obviously he did something right. I don't know. I haven't checked the game in a while, and that's a big difference. So I'm a little wrong, I guess. I don't know. I did say the Cardinals would do pretty good this year. I said they'd get 8 wins, but I mean, it is preseason, so.
Yeah, we're a long way from the actual go time.
Not too far away. Less than a month away.
Less
than a month away from cracking open a beer on Sunday and doing some pork shoulders and
good old barbecue.
Yeah, good old barbecue.
So, all right, we kind of drifted.
Yeah, we drifted just a little bit. Hey, what's this podcast for anyways?
Yeah. I mean, we were going to get to some NFL talk here in a little bit, but I think we just kind of blew right through it.
Not really.
But, so, back to the Big Ten East. Ohio State and Michigan. That's really my two. One of those two are going to win the East.
No, I got Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State. At one point, I was screaming Penn State. I have
Penn State at 10-2. There, I have them projected the same as Ohio State.
I have them 10-2, but they're going to beat Ohio State. They'll end up second in their place, or even first place. Who knows? I mean, this could be another SEC situation where you have 3 10-2 teams at the very top. But I mean, that's a rare occasion. If that happens this year, then I tell you what, I'll eat my hat. Not really, but I mean, that makes for a really exciting season because it's down to the wire, down to the last game of the year. Who's going to do what? Who's going to do good? But I mean, Michigan or Penn State, yeah. Ohio State, I think, is going to miss it. But that's me. That's my opinion.
I mean, they have a fairly easy schedule. They have Florida Atlantic, Cincinnati, Indiana, Miami of Ohio, at Nebraska, Michigan State, at Northwestern, Wisconsin, Maryland, Rutgers, Penn State, and then last game of the year at Michigan. I think they very easily win until they go to Wisconsin.
Yeah, and I think that's. I mean, I agree with you in a sense, but I feel like that they could drop a game in there. I mean, like I said, it's so.
I mean, they could very easily drop
There's
Nebraska.
so many question marks right now because
But
I have Nebraska at 10-2.
They have 4 games before they play Nebraska. I mean, they could drop one Nebraska. Nebraska's going to be good. Then they can turn around and win 2 games, drop one to Wisconsin. I do not think they beat Wisconsin.
No.
And then
I have Wisconsin at 8-4 team, so that's kind of where I'm stuck at. I don't think. I think Wisconsin will beat some teams that they need to, and then they'll definitely make some surprising victories in there. But I really think Ohio State's going to slip a couple games that they should not have lost, just like they do every year, kind of.
I mean, but Ohio State, they had a quarterback drafted. They had 2 or 3 receivers drafted. I think they even had running back drafted. So it's next man up.
Yeah, it's next man up, but you got to remember how they've recruited. So, I mean, that's another thing. It's all about recruiting and how you've done in the recruiting run. So, and Ohio State's always done good in the recruiting run. I mean, they're Ohio State. So,
do you see they try to get the trademark?
Yes. I was just reading that today. I think that's a bunch of Bologna. I think they need to get Bologna trademark. There we go. I want Bologna trademark. I want Bologna trademark. Chant it with me. I want Bologna.
I think you've lost your mind.
I've lost it just a little bit. I'm a little tired.
We're getting up there.
I mean, it's not too late at night, but I mean, I think that kind of wraps it for Big Ten. There's not just a whole lot to talk about.
There's not a lot in the West.
It's just kind of open.
Michigan, Ohio State. Michigan, Ohio State.
No, Penn State too.
Maybe. I mean, they don't even have a quarterback either. Their quarterback was drafted too.
Steak dinner that Penn State finishes ahead of Ohio State. That'd be our bet of the show, I guess.
Yeah,
it's on recording.
Penn State over Ohio State.
Right,
steak dinner.
Air five. Air.
I guess we're just gonna have a bet of the
air
podcast.
High five. Yeah, right. No, I can't afford that. I don't know what you're talking about. I work a part-time job, sir. But I guess on the NFL talk now, I know we're kind of everywhere right now. I know we kind of had a little bit of NFL talk throughout the show, and if you're still listening, thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. But we'll go into NFL talk now. Just finish out whatever we had on NFL talk. And honestly, I mean, Antonio Brown's not sitting out anymore.
No,
he was at the game.
NFL gave him some tough love.
They gave him some tough love.
He was never going to win the grievance.
He was never going to win.
I mean, there's multiple players that are complaining about.
But, I mean, if Tom Brady complained about it and then went on the field and decided to play with his helmet, then guess what? The NFL is going to be like, okay, yeah, if Tom Brady does it, then you should do it. And that's kind of what the NFL took the stance on. And here's the thing. I totally understand where Antonio Brown's coming from. You know,
he's played with the same helmet for 10 years.
And the newer helmet blocks his field of view a little bit, and that's big for a wide receiver. But he left his team. That's what gets me, is that he left his team. It's such a childish move and everything. So, go back to kind of a little bit of talk from Cleveland after watching them play a little bit. Holy cow, man! I
love the story of the guy who was sleeping outside of the gym, talked his way into a workout, and then goes off to run a kickoff return back for a touchdown.
Yeah, talk about
smoked him.
Yeah, smoked him. Not even close. Just ran.
And
everywhere.
I forget the Browns get Kareem Hunt when he's unsuspended in November.
I told you that before. That's why I said the Browns, man. They're going to be something else, man. Nick Chubb on your fantasy team. Kareem Hunt on your fantasy team. Jarvis Landry on your fantasy team. Fantasy football talk here. Not really. I'm not that good at it. Now, if it's fantasy baseball, I mean, that's a different story.
Yeah, we're not going to
I'm like a god.
Baseball.
I am the god.
Fantasy baseball's too much. It's just too much.
How's it too much?
Man, you have to keep up with it every day.
Yeah, it's called discipline, Tanner. It's called waking up and setting a lineup.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I do 5 teams.
You're nuts.
I am a little crazy.
Like you said, you only work part-time. You got plenty of time on your hands.
I mean, I may work part-time, but I'm doing other stuff, so... That hit you. That was good. ESPN top 10 right there. That would have been camera content. Oh, well.
Oh. All right, so the Redskins, I mean, their whole quarterback. I mean, the NFC East and quarterbacks, man.
I mean,
I don't want to pick who's going to win the NFC East because it's questionable. Is Carson Wentz going to stay healthy? He hasn't played a full season since his rookie year.
I mean, I think Case Keenum's going to start for them.
For the Redskins, I think Colt McCoy gets it again.
Colt McCoy.
He finished out the year for him last year.
Ugh.
I mean, he's from Texas.
It's like saying Josh Woodrum's going to
Or do they just run out there and stick the guy from Ohio State in?
Dwayne Haskins? They could. I mean, they're not too favorable with him right now.
mean,
they said that his development isn't as good as what they thought it was going to be. But it's also the Redskins, so, I mean,
Alex Smith is probably not going to be back this year.
No, he won't. Sorry. Case Keenum, I think, like I said.
I mean, this is what, Case Keenum's third team in 4 years?
Just about, but I mean, but that's the thing, though. He
2016, he was with the Rams.
He has some experience, and
Denver.
I think he's gonna be in. He'll be in with Washington. He'll start for them. I mean, he's the favorite right now. I think he should start for them. I think it should be him, Dwayne Haskins, and then Colt McCoy.
I mean,
unless if Alexander Smith comes back, then I mean, you see how he's doing, and then maybe start him. I mean, like I said, that's a big question mark. That's just as bad as I don't even want to get into the Dak talk. I don't even want to talk about that. I don't even want to talk about it because I can make an excuse why you should pay him $40 million.
Here's my thing. He's betting on himself. That's the whole thing. He turned down the deal. I mean, he didn't.
But here's the thing. Now you have money motivating you. He's looking at a 1 year, $40 million.
That's what he was. No, he was wanting $40 million a year on a 5-year deal.
On a 5,
which is what he was already going to get, a $30 million 5-year deal, which was going to be like $149 million total.
Yeah,
which is that's a good contract.
That's a good contract for when you live in Texas.
He's wanting to bet on himself. The Chargers quarterback did this a couple years ago, but the Chargers are in the AFC. You have Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Who else? The NFC is stacked with great quarterbacks.
Yeah, but Dak is a good quarterback. I stick him up there. I stick him, if I had to pay him, I'd give him like 33, 35.
I think 33
but
will
not
be the
40.
Number. I think 33
I like 35. I want to pay him more than Carson Wentz. He deserves it more than Carson Wentz.
It's just going to be one of those. He's going to be with the Cowboys no matter what. Even if he does not take the deal and they get to the end of the year and his contract's
that's what I'm
up,
saying.
They're going to franchise tag him.
Jerry's going to pay him, and I mean, Jerry's not.
Their whole contract issues right now, which is it's just been going on for weeks.
Well, it's just NFL players wanting money, and the fact is that when you have NBA, it's easy. You have 5 on the court, and then you have 8 on the bench. Yeah. So you're not paying that many people.
7 on the bench.
7 on the bench. And here's the thing. The NBA makes a lot of money. A lot of money. And you're making money off your Nike deals. And, I mean, HEB pays the Spurs a good chunk of cash.
For some great-ass commercials.
For some great commercials. Yeah.
That's my favorite part of basketball, watching
the Spurs.
HEB commercials.
Yeah. I mean, even...
the Coyote... Benny the Bull, 2 best mascots.
Yeah, 2 best mascots.
I love watching the Benny the Bull videos of him just trashing.
I don't know. You know what I'm ready for? The Golden State bandwagon to disappear.
It's gonna be it's back to the Lakers.
I know some bandwagon fans.
It's gonna be the Lakers. Did you see the hat that was the bandwagon hat, and it was half Lakers, half Clippers?
Oh yeah, I saw that. I thought that was pretty funny. And if you want my honest opinion, the Clippers are going to win it all this year. The Clippers are just going to win. I mean, that's just proof in the pudding. I mean, LaMarcus Cousins is out.
Yeah, he tore his ACL.
Tore his ACL. He's out, and I think that that hurts LeBron, man. That poor dude can't catch a break. Really, with the Lakers.
It hurts my feelings that Danny Green plays for the Lakers.
Well, I mean, the Spurs.
That's right in the field.
Yeah, it's right.
The Spurs traded him to get DeMar DeRozan with the Kawhi deal and told him to come back after the 1 year. They would take him back with open arms, and he goes to the Lakers.
Well, we also didn't offer to pay him. We also didn't make the space to pay him. We had the money, but I mean,
we're a few months from basketball talk.
Yeah, we're a few months for basketball talk. Kind of getting off subject there, but I mean, NFL talk. There's not really much going on. Dog days of NFL too. I mean, it's just preseason football and
watching Hard Knocks.
That's just about as good as eating soggy tortilla chips.
Man, I'm new to the whole Hard Knocks show. This is my first year watching it. I turned it on this previous weekend, watch episode 1, see a familiar face in Ronald Ollie from Last Chance U. I was like, oh, hey. Text everyone in our friend group. I'm like, hey, Ronald Ollie from Last Chance U's on the Oakland as an undrafted rookie trying to make the team. And no more than I had just sent that out in the show, he pulls the same stuff he did on Last Chance U. Gruden cuts him. Like, he's on the show for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was just remember going, oh, never mind.
I remember getting that message. I was laying down, I got it, I was like, oh, cool. And then, like, seconds later, it's like, oh, never mind. I'm like, yeah.
And that just blows my mind. Like, how do you not grow up? It's been 4 years since that season of Last Chance U came out. Like,
yeah, but there's these players, man. They're young. You gotta remember, most of these people are our age.
Ronald Ollie, why didn't you go to the trainer? No one told me I had to. No one tells you to go to the trainer when you're hurt. Gruden's like, get them the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Demonetized.
Put on the helmet now. Sorry, YouTube. Put on the helmet, Tanner. Put it on.
I don't even know where the helmet is.
It's right next to your hand. Don't act like that you don't know where it is. Fine, put on the helmet. Let it restrict your knowledge flow.
I can't even get the helmet on with these damn headphones.
You need to take off the headphones. Take them off.
Mr. Oh, I'm fancy. I have in-ear monitors.
Yeah, I have in-ear monitors. You look like an alien. You're going to even look more like an alien here in a second. It's fine. You have a small head, so. I have all this knowledge, so my head's just a little bit bigger, so it's okay. Oh, look at you. Comfortable?
Yeah, no, I can't hear a thing.
Good. That's okay. I'll just talk a little bit quieter. So the Redskins. Oh, well, made Tanner put on the helmet, but, I mean, NFL talk, I guess that's kind of really all that we have. I mean, it's not...
Melvin Gordon's holding out.
He's out. Dak wants $40 million, and I think it's...
Zeke is not... Did you see Jerry Jones' reference to the whole contract?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cutting off your hand and bleeding out. What a horrible reference.
Well, I mean, like, Zeke's going to come back. He's going to realize that it was a bad mistake. He's going to come back, and you big wiener.
I can't hear anything.
Mm-hmm. Get you in-ear monitors next time.
I don't know, man. It's just I'm so ready for football season to start. I'm just chomping at the bit.
Yeah, me too. I'm ready to prove you wrong. A lot of people wrong.
Well, I guess let's go ahead and we're going to take a break, kind of refresh and get to our closing segment and get to another over-unders.
So, yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll be back here in a second. All right, welcome back to the last segment. We every last segment, we have our over-unders. And we kind of throw it together, and it's a little bit of fun. And this week we have some interesting ones. So you ready?
Yeah, I'm
You
ready.
I'm going to hit you hard with these. If Zeke sits out the whole Cowboys season, do the Cowboys win 8 games over under?
I'm going to take it over. I don't think it'll be by much. I still say 9 wins.
All right, I take the over. I think they win more than 12 games with him, or with or without him. So the next one is, does Eli Manning play 8 games this season? Over under?
Under. I don't think he's going to play very many at all.
Okay. I got over. I think he plays the whole season. I think whether he does good or bad, I think he plays. So
I think Giants take the last place.
oh yeah, they're going
In
suck.
all of NFC. Yeah, I think they're just going to have
in all
nightmare.
football, I think they're going to be in last place. Saquon Barkley, 1,000 yards over under.
I think he's going to rush for 1,000. Even if they are horrible, they're going to run him into the dirt.
Oh yeah. Well, my main thing is that I mean I don't
Especially
like
when you
people
have
getting hurt. I don't like
have a
about
questionable quarterback.
Yeah, I don't like people getting hurt, but I mean, I think he's going to get worn out to the point where he might get an injury. I mean, that's a high probability with that team right now, with the position that they're in. I'm under 1,000 yards. I don't think he makes it through most of the season. I think he might have to sit out some games. But Antonio Brown, over 100 receptions.
I'm going to take the under.
I got the over. I think Derek Carr, I mean, after watching it tonight, Derek Carr's going to target him a lot. And Antonio Brown, I mean, I just don't
think Derek Carr, he's not Big Ben.
He's not Big Ben, but, I mean, he can get there.
I just don't think it's going to be the same.
Whatever. I think it's over 100 receptions. All right, and last one. You ready for this one? Dak contract. 35 million over or under.
Well, the first offer was at 30 and he declined it. I'm going to take the under. I don't think he's going to get 33.
I think he gets right at 35, and I want to be specific, 35.5.
So you're going to take the over.
I'm taking the over.
By $500,000.
By $500,000. Which, Dak, if you're hearing this, if I get it right, hey, send me some money your way. Or my way. But, yeah, I mean, this one was intriguing. It was a little fun. I'm a little tired. You're a little tired. It's been a long week, and I'll definitely a lot of research, but...
we're shooting this one later in the week than we normally do.
Yeah, later in the week.
We had a lot
Not
going on.
too late at night, but this week has been crazy. But we are the Replacements Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube. Click the little bell notification if you love football. And if you don't hit it, your team loses this year. So,
so we've been each week we've just kind of first podcast we did the Big 12. Last week we did the SEC. We started with the conferences that we know and love, or hate, in some regard.
yeah.
This week was the Big 10. Well, I guess we should have started. We should have started a week earlier because we wanted to cover each conference individually before we got into football. Unfortunately, we are not able to do that. So next week we're going to have the ACC and the Pac-12.
Yeah. Well, I was going to combine them anyways, and then throw Notre Dame in there just because. I mean, but
they're the only independent that matters.
Yeah, they're the only.
We're not going to talk about New Mexico State.
No. Isn't that like a couple hours away or something from here?
Yeah, it's not too far.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, but I mean, literally ACC is just Clemson and then Notre Dame, and then with the Pac-12, you kind of have
Florida State. Don't forget about Florida State.
Well, Florida State has a chance. Who knows what's going to happen? But anyways, thanks for listening. If you listened this whole time, if you have any comments, comment down below. If you have any over-unders for us, comment them down below. Please. Coming up with these things is not hard, but it's kind of a struggle. If y'all have some wacky overs and unders, let us know.
Yeah, don't be afraid to get involved.
Don't be afraid to get involved.
We want this to be just like one of our normal conversations we've had with friends over beers.
We don't bite. I mean, Tanner doesn't. I do. I bark. I bark a lot. But we are the Replacements Podcast. I'm Elliott.
I'm Tanner.
And we'll be back Friday, 6 p.m. next week. Shooter.